Her hands trembled as she clutched the examination slip, her heart pounding louder than the students' chatter in the crowded medical college hallway. For Ayesha, this exam wasn't just about passing, it was about proving to herself, to her family, and to everyone who doubted her that she had the strength to chase her dream of becoming a nurse. She hadn't eaten properly in days, spending sleepless nights over thick textbooks and endless notes, pushing herself far beyond her body's limits. The pressure weighed heavily on her shoulders, but she kept whispering to herself, "I cannot fail. Not this time." Inside the exam hall, the atmosphere was suffocating. The fluorescent lights glared harshly, the silence broken only by the scratching of pens against paper. Ayesha's vision blurred as she bent over her sheet, her hand trembling as she tried to focus. Sweat rolled down her forehead, and the letters in front of her seemed to dance and twist. She pressed her hand against her chest, trying to calm the rising panic, but the room tilted. The last thing she saw before everything went dark was the unfinished sentence she had been writing. When she opened her eyes again, she was no longer in the exam hall. The sterile white walls, the faint beeping of medical equipment, and the cool touch of oxygen filled her senses. Slowly, her vision cleared, and that's when she saw him. A young doctor, no older than her, leaned close with worry in his eyes. His voice was calm, warm, and reassuring. "You're okay. Just breathe. You fainted, but you're safe now." His words wrapped around her like a lifeline, pulling her back from the haze. For a moment, she was embarrassed. She wanted to sink back into the bed and disappear. Fainting in front of everyone felt like a humiliation, proof that she wasn't strong enough. But the doctor didn't see her as weak. His eyes carried no judgment, only genuine care. "You've been pushing yourself too hard, haven't you?" he asked gently, adjusting the blanket over her. She nodded, unable to hold back the tears that slipped down her cheeks. She told him about the pressure, the long nights, the fear of failure, and how she carried her parents' hopes like a heavy burden. Instead of lecturing her, he listened. Patiently. Quietly. Every word she spoke was received with an understanding that melted the shame inside her. When she paused, he said something she never forgot: "Strength doesn't mean never falling, Ayesha. Strength means getting back up again and again. Even doctors like me were once students who stumbled. Don't mistake exhaustion for weakness." In the days that followed, Ayesha returned home with a doctor's note advising rest, but her heart carried something more powerful than medicine: hope. The young doctor, Dr. Hamza, had seen her not just as a patient, but as a person fighting battles no one else could see. That small act of kindness became the seed of courage she needed. When the next exam cycle came, Ayesha walked into the hall with her head high. She still felt the weight of expectations, but now she carried with her the memory of those caring eyes that reminded her she was capable, that stumbling didn't mean defeat. She paced herself, ate properly, and studied smart instead of torturing her body. Months later, when she held her results in trembling hands, her tears weren't of shame, they were of triumph. She had passed. She had made it through the storm. Her family celebrated, but deep down, she knew that the true victory was over her own self-doubt. And in the quiet of her room, she whispered a silent thank you to the doctor who had reminded her of her worth. Ayesha's journey is not just a story of fainting in an exam hall, it's a reminder for all of us. Sometimes, life pushes us so hard we feel like collapsing. Sometimes we believe failure defines us. But in those lowest moments, even a single voice of care can reignite our strength. If you've ever felt like giving up, let her story remind you that your struggles do not make you weak. They make you human. And every fall can lead to a stronger rise. So if Ayesha's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us of the strength within all of us. Because sometimes, all it takes is one moment of kindness to change a life forever. The clock ticked loudly in the silent exam hall, and Ayesha's pen slipped from her trembling fingers. Her body had been running on nothing but caffeine and determination, but now it was betraying her. She felt the stares of other students, though in truth, everyone was too busy scribbling answers. Her breath grew shallow, her vision clouded, and then darkness. Gasps filled the room. She fainted, someone whispered as the invigilator rushed to her side. Papers scattered to the floor. For Ayesha, Everything blurred until she awoke under the harsh glow of hospital lights. Her lashes fluttered, and she saw him, Dr. Hamza. Young, confident, with worry etched across his face. He leaned close, his voice calm and firm. "Stay still. You're safe. Just take slow breaths." Confused, embarrassed, Ayesha tried to sit up. "My exam. I have to go back." Her voice cracked. He placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Not right now. Your body gave out. No exam is worth your health." Tears welled up. "But you don't understand. My family, they've sacrificed everything. If I fail again..." Dr. Hamza looked straight into her eyes, his gaze steady. "You think fainting makes you weak? No. It means you've been carrying too much alone. Tell me, when was the last time you slept properly? Ate a full meal?" Her silence was the only answer. He sighed softly. "I was once where you are, Ayesha. I studied till my hands shook, until I thought collapsing meant failure. But failure isn't falling. Failure is refusing to get back up." She blinked, surprised at the depth in his words. Somehow, the weight in her chest eased a little. For the first time in weeks, she felt seen. That night, resting in the hospital bed, she replayed his words again and again. Strength means getting back up. Chapter 2. Weeks passed. With her parents' gentle urging and Dr. Hamza's advice lingering in her heart, Ayesha made changes. She paced her studies, ate proper meals, and allowed herself to rest. It wasn't easy. Guilt whispered that she wasn't working hard enough, but she pushed those thoughts aside. One afternoon at the campus library, she spotted Dr. Hamza walking by, checking on students at the free clinic nearby. Gathering courage, she stopped him. "Doctor, I just wanted to thank you. That day, you gave me more than medical care. You gave me hope." He smiled warmly. "I only reminded you of the strength you already had. Promise me you'll never forget that." Her heart skipped at his sincerity, but she nodded firmly. "I won't." The day of the next exam came. Ayesha sat at her desk, her breathing steady this time. She whispered to herself, "I'm ready." She remembered his words, not as a cure but as an anchor. When her hand shook, she paused, inhaled deeply, and continued writing. She didn't collapse. She didn't break. When the results were posted weeks later, Ayesha stood frozen, scanning the list. Her name was there, with a passing grade. Tears blurred her vision, but this time they were tears of joy. She clutched the paper to her chest and whispered, "I did it." That evening, she went to the free clinic again, her results in hand. Dr. Hamza was there, tending to a child with a broken arm. When he looked up, she held out the paper. "I passed." He laughed softly, clapping once in delight. "I knew you would. See? Falling didn't stop you, it only made you stronger." Her voice trembled as she replied, "You were right. Failure isn't falling. Failure is giving up. And I'm never giving up again." The clinic buzzed with patients, but for that moment, time seemed to pause between them. She realized something profound. Sometimes, destiny doesn't arrive in grand gestures. Sometimes, it's in the quiet moments when someone cares enough to remind you of your worth. And just like that, her story wasn't just about exams anymore, it was about resilience, kindness, and the power of encouragement. So if you've ever felt like collapsing under life's weight, remember Ayesha's journey. Falling doesn't mean defeat. What matters is that you rise again, stronger, wiser, and braver than before. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs strength today, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Because sometimes, one voice of kindness can change the direction of an entire life.